Hi all, welcome to Demystifying Markets. So today we are going to learn the topic one time frame in detail. So what is one time frame, and I'll explain the definition, that is what is one time framing, along with the examples I will quote in some other stocks, and how can we identify the presence of OTF. The presence of OTF is into different types actually, so that also I'll explain along with the examples, and also try to explain the entry and the best place for entry and the best place for exit. So all these details I'll cover in this video. So this channel is purely for market profile analysis. So whatever we do here in the analysis part, that is for index, that is for stock, and along with the live trading session also we are conducting every day morning 10:30. So 10:30 we do have live sessions. So whoever is interested to participate can also participate and get a knowledge about this market profile analysis. And if you are really interested in market profile analysis, kindly use this platform, and you can also like, share and subscribe my channel if you really like my analysis, and it can also go to the next person so that who is in really need of that kind of analysis. Thank you so much for your participation, and then we'll continue to the topic now. So one time framing, what is one time framing? So one time framing is nothing but identification of big institutional players or the smart money entry plays. So when we find any one time framing concepts in any kind of stocks, that is a place for institutional buyers or sellers who are really interested in the stocks for a particular day on a particular time frame. So if at all we can able to spot the OTF entry and exit, then we can also do trade along with them. That is the best thing actually, we can go along with the OTF presence. So one time framing is nothing but the presence of smart money or the big institutional players, or the OTF also can be differentiated into two different types. I'll explain what are the kinds that we can spot the OTF entry as well as OTF exit. So first, OTF means one time framing. So which means the price starts from the initial period. The price, when it goes to the top and reach the resistance, it will not come immediately when the price starts from the initial period. That means the A period, the price from the B period should follow the A period, and C period should follow the B period. Like this, like that the price goes. So if you see here, so the first stock that we are going to see here at the ICICI Prudential, which was spotted on the date of Friday 14th June. So it's a clear OTF presence right from the point 590. 595 is the place where the OTF actually exist. So if you see here, 590 itself OTF presence is very clear, because from the beginning of the period itself the price goes high. So initially what happens, from the beginning itself the OTF presence is good. Some kind of trades do have the presence of OTF at the beginning, and some kind of trade do have the presence of OTF in between and the second half of the trade. So that differs actually. But again, if you really spot the OTF presence at the beginning of the period, that is from the A period itself, that is a good place for entry actually. So from initial period itself, you can be able to capture a very good points, that is because of OTF presence. So in the simple concept, what we actually follow is, that is what I do actually follows, whenever there is a OTF presence in a stock, you can still wait, and when OTF exit, you can also exit along with them. But that is the best way of trading. When you find OTF entry in a particular stock, so you also can trade in that stock, and when you find the exit of the OTF presence, then obviously that is a place for you also to go out of the trade, because OTF presence is very important in a trade to make the price to go higher. So first, what happens right from the initial period, ICICI Prudential starts from 595. So right from the initial period itself, from A to B to C, each and every period is following. If you see, what is one time framing is actually means, the B period should not cut the A period's low, and C period should not go below the B period, and D should not go below the C, which is A period is respecting, so that is B period is respecting the A period, and C period is respecting the B period, and D period is also respecting the C period, like that follows. So each and every period is respecting the previous period, so that the OTF presence is very clear right from the A period till I period. So it's been very clear right from the A to I, the OTF presence, that is from the 590 levels to 625. So this is a futures chart of ICICI Prudential of 30 minutes time frame. It's been very clear right from 590 levels to 625. So I'll write it here. So the OTF presence, we found it in the stock of ICICI Prudential is right from the entry 590 to 625. So from there what happens? Slowly the OTF presence is getting absent. So what happens? We could see some exhaustion in this period, exhaustion here in the face. So we could spot some exhaustion. That is a place that we could able to see very clearly the OTF presence is getting missed. So that time what we need to do is like we need to come out of the trade. That is the best day of that is the best way of doing intraday along with the OTF presence. So if you find any OTF at the beginning of the period, that is a very good thing. Actually, you can still make this trade, and each and every period should follow the other period, and each and every period should respect the other period. That is a presence of OTF that confirms your OTF entry. And again, if you find any exhaustion at the top, so this is a place of exhaustion, and if you find any exhaustion, that means the buying pressure is almost getting exhausted. So it is taking some rest. So which means like the other direction may also continue, or the same direction may also continue. We are not sure which direction that is, on upside or downside. So it's been very clear. You can come out of this trade. That is a very good place to find the exhaustion. And if you find any exhaustion, automatically the OTF presence is going to end it soon. So that is a place of exit for a good that is a place for a exit. And if you see, for the first kind of OTF presence is from the based on period to period. So this is my first explanation. This is the first example for OTF entry and OTF exit based on smart money entry. So if you find any OTF entry that is from A period and the smart money entry, big institutional players entry, then do your entry plan. And again, if you find any exhaustion at the top, that is the smart money exit. So smart money is going to exit very soon at this point. So that is a place for exhaustion and along with the place for exit too. So you can find your exit plan also at this place. So that is one kind of OTF, that is one time frame players concept. And the second thing we'll also learn about OTF is equal to single print. So OTF may come in different concept, that is one time framing concept and also single print concept. And third setup is both one time frame and single print will come in the same stock. That means the OTF presence is much more stronger. So if you find OTF only, that is in this stock, I could able to see only the OTF, because even the single print may form, but end of the period, what happens, end of the session, that is end of the day, the single print may disappear. So what happens, I could able to see only the OTF. That is also a good way of representing the OTF entries. And the second way is single print alone, and the third part is very stronger, that is the combination of both OTF plus single print. So now we are going to learn the OTF is equal to single print concept. We already learned this concept, and this is a perfect example of OTF, that is one time framing. And your best entry is go along with the OTF presence when you find initial part of the day. And you can also question like when this initial part of the day, when the OTF presence confirms during the initial part of the day, it is because if you find any balance state in before the days, see if you see here any before days, if you find any balanced state, that is balanced means consolidation, then the next day if you find right from the beginning of the period the OTF presence, then that is the best place of identifying the OTF entry. And if you find any exhaustion at the top, that is the best place to exit actually. So this kind of concept is very clear with this one time framing setup. Next, moving on to OTF, that is single print. So single print is actually divided into two concepts, buying single print and selling single print. So I'll explain one by one what is buying single print and selling single print. So buying single print means, so single print means the OTF presence or smart money entry or institutional players. So all these concepts are able to that is all these concepts are called in general single print. So that can be for buying, that can be for selling. So if at all the concept is for buying, that is called a buying single print. Whenever the price goes high, when the single print is there, that is called a buying single print. Whenever the price comes below, that is called selling single print because the sellers are very active in the single print area. So next, moving on to Asia Motor stock, so where we could able to see the buying single prints on a recent day. So if you see here again, the OTF presence has not been very clear at the beginning of the period. So what happens, right from C period only we could able to spot the OTF entry. So in the previous talk, what happens, we could see the OTF presence in the beginning of the period. So I already mentioned, so OTF may come in the beginning initial period also, but again they may also come in between, that is the second half of the day. And what happens again, this part, C part itself, the OTF presence is very clear, and that is followed by D, E, F, G, H also, and till I, what happens, the OTF presence, that is the one time framing concept what we read before is presence. So we could able to spot the OTF presence right from C period to H period. Sorry, C period to I period. So we actually find two concepts here. So it's a combination of both one time framing and the single print concept. So right from C period till I period, we could able to spot the OTF presence, that is for buying. And the next thing what happens again, if the J period comes down also, if you see a very smaller single print, so smaller single print is not that much efficient or effective. But again, if you find here, when the J period takes a support on the single print and then goes high, followed by K, L, M, which is having a very big single print. So again, this also confirms the OTF presence. The confirmation starts from J period. So right from J period, the confirmation starts, and what happens, followed by K, L, M. So whatever the concept right from C to I, the same concept applied from J to M period, which means the price again start moving from 4,878 to 4,950. So 4,870 to 4,950. So second double chance have been given in this stock Eicher Motors on the date of 14th June. So what happens, first half has been given by OTF and the second half has been given by single print along with the OTF presence. So both OTF confirmations are very clear, and the days for OTF for the stock of Eicher Motors, that starts from 4,800 to 4,950. So 150 points up in futures chart of Eicher Motors 30 minutes time frame. That is because both the things have been presented in this, actually presented in the combination of both OTF plus single print. Buying single print is very clear and it's been evident, and also it doesn't disappear actually. It still exists even after the closure. So before the closure, if at all, if a single print absorbs or observe, that is a different concept. I'll take it in a next session. But again, if the single print is not disappeared again for the till the end of the day, that is a very valid single print, and it's a effective buying method of the OTF presence. So whenever you find any OTF entries, that is the OTF presence along with the one-time framing concept or with the single prints or with the combination of both, like this kind of concept, that is Asian Motors, you have both one-time framing setup plus single print concept setup. So if you find these kind of presence, then that is the best place for entry, because OTF is already into the trade. And if you go along with the OTF, you can capture good points, and you are still be confident that this kind of confident trades which are evident OTF presence is very important, and this can be only utilized and this can be only seen through market profile. So on the traditional charts, it's not been very evident to see the OTF presence and along with the buying single print concepts and all. So we don't know where the smart money actually enters, but here in the market profile, it's been very evident and it's very confident. It gives you a lot of confidence that smart money enters and smart money exit, and all these concepts are all very efficient and it still works. And also, if you find the price actually starts from 4,800 and till 4,950. So this is the second example for OTF, that is one time framing along with a single print entry. The next stock is Metropolis. So Metropolis, actually where we found the OTF is like on 13th June, what happened? The price starts from the beginning of the period. It has not even tested, actually it has not even taken a support. So right from the beginning of the period itself, what happened? The price goes high. So 1965, right from that point, what happened? The OTF still continues till F period. So 1965 to 2000. And then again, if you see from G period, what happens? Still the OTF continues. So OTF continuation from A period till F period, and again G period, what happened? Even the TPOs have not gone below, even one of the TPOs also not gone below the F period, will still confirm the OTF presence is in the stock. So again from 2000 the price goes above 2030. So which is 1965 to 2030, the OTF presence is very clear in the stock of Metropolis on the date of 13th June. So this is the third confirmation for the third example for your OTF reference. And if you see, you could see the single print at the beginning of the period itself, where we have a much more confidence in the trade. So this kind of entry, single print at the beginning of the period and OTF presence at the beginning of the period itself, gives lot of confidence for you to stay longer in the trade. So that kind of trade, if you select and if you identify the OTF presence and the OTF entries and exit, so that kind of confidence, if you build regularly, what happens? You'll start chasing these kind of OTF entries and all. You'll continue a long journey in the trading. So that gives a lot of confidence for you, and only market profile can give you this kind of confidence. And this is not at all a recommendation. This is purely for educational purpose. So you can experience this. You can also work all these scenarios, and if you really find these analysis useful, then please use it, because it's the best way to track the OTF entries and exit. And the next stock, Adani Ports, that is also one of the example for OTF presence. And if you see, it's been very evident right from the beginning of the period. We could see the single print. So that is the concept which I would like to share it before, because when you find OTF entry or single print, buying single print entry at the beginning of the period itself, then what happens? Then it gives you a lot of confidence to enter into a trade at the beginning, itself, and you can able to stay there for a longer time. So before exhaustion, you can actually stay, and when you find some exhaustion at the stock, then it is good to exit, actually, because the OTF is ready to exit the stock. So that is why we are also ready to exit, come out of the stock when you find any exhaustion at the top. So likewise, what happened? Again, I could see some exhaustion at this point. So again, the price starts to consolidate here. So again, the price is not going up. So which tells me very clearly the exhaustion is happening at this point. So I come out of this trade. So right from the point 1400 till 1450, that is 50 points in futures chart of Adani Ports of 30 minutes time frame. It's been very clear, and OTF presence is also there right from the A period. So A period and B period all are respecting each other period. So from B is respecting A and C is respecting B, D is respecting, and also E is following the D period, which tells very clearly the OTF presence along with the buying single print even at the beginning of the period. So all these confirmations which gives you a lot of confidence to stay in the trade, and the exhaustion at the top is very clear, that tells you go out of this trade please, because the OTF is also going out. So I think I have covered almost the OTF presence along with the buying single print concept, and the next time, the next part 2 video, I'll cover the selling single print concept along with the OTF for sellers. So that this part 1 video is purely for buying single print and for buying OTF, and the second part I'll cover the selling single print and the selling that is OTF for sellers. So in both way they can do, and both way we can find the OTF presence. But this video is purely for buying single print, and likewise I will also do the second part of this video for sellers. And thank you so much for watching, and please do try this, and please do work out these kind of analysis for you. Continue this field for a longer time, and thank you so much. If you really like my analysis, please do like, share and subscribe my channel, and please share this to someone who really want this kind of analysis, want to learn the market profile. And thank you so much.